Welcome back to another video. Right now we are just going to be peeling off this jicama and getting it ready to blitz it in the fancy little KitchenAid blender. Once we have it all peeled up, we're going to go ahead and just chop this up into smaller pieces. Makes it a little bit easier to blend it up in the KitchenAid. Now that we have that chopped, let's go ahead and place it in the blender, and we're going to go ahead and blend this up. You can mince it by hand or grate it if you want. This is just a little bit easier, and that's the consistency we're looking for. Next, we have our red bell pepper. I like to just insert the knife like that and then just cut and roll. Very simple way to chop that up. You can use the ends of the red bell pepper as well. We're just going to use the guts here. Go ahead and chop that up, help the blender out. Same thing as the jicama. Moving on to our red onion. We're only going to be using half of this red onion. Two is a thick boy. Same thing as the other ingredients. Go ahead, chop it up, make it a little bit easier for the blender. After the onion, we have our beautiful fresh carrots. We're going to go ahead and cut the tops off. You can use the tops for a fancy pesto if you want to go that route. We'll peel these carrots off. Same thing as the other ingredients. Let's go ahead and chop them up. Make it real easy for the blender. Look at those knife skills. Dang. And attempt to pour it into the blender without letting half of it fall onto the countertop. Voila. Next we got our garlic. Go ahead and palm heel strike these. Get the cloves you need. We're using about 6 of them. Varies depending on size. Go ahead and throw those in whole. Chop up real nice. Got foot traffic in the background. And next we have our green onions. No blending these. We're just going to go ahead and finely chop these up with the knife. Cut those little ends off. And last but not least, our shrimp. We're going to go ahead and pulverize these little guys up. Makes it nice and easy to blend in with that ground pork. And there we have all of our ingredients prepped for our lumpia. Now that everything's prepped, this part is pretty simple. We're just going to go ahead and throw everything in a big bowl all together. Carrots, garlic, shrimp, and scallion. And then we are going to add 2 eggs, whole eggs, just to help with the binding. And the best tool in the kitchen is your hands. So we're going to go ahead and measure out our salt. Measure out our pepper. That's to taste. You can add more or less. And then we're going to go ahead and mix these up. You can use a spatula if you don't like the feeling of meat in your fingers, but this method works a lot better. And now we're going to go ahead and roll out these lumpia. We're just using a spoon as a measuring tool. Want about a spoonful, spoonful and a half. How you want to roll these is up to you. You can roll them long and skinny, short and fat, like an egg roll. But we're going to fold that end over, roll it. And we're going to go ahead and fold each end in. Get a little bit of water just to tighten up that seal for when we start frying these so they don't bust open. Go ahead and keep rolling it, keeping everything nice and tight. A little bit more water. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And there we have it. Beautiful lumpia. I wouldn't say beautiful. Could do a little bit better, but there we have all of our rolled lumpia with a little bit of editing magic. Now we can get ready to fry these bad boys. Go ahead and get yourself a nice cast iron pan or whatever pot you want to use for frying. Remember, your oil will expand when it heats up, so make sure to leave room so you don't have spillover and burn the house down. And we don't want to overcrowd these either and bring that temp down. So we're going to throw about half of our lumpia into our oil and then fry these up for about 7 to 8 minutes. We're really just looking for a nice golden brown color. Now that we have our lumpia looking beautifully cooked, go ahead and set them on a parchment paper, a paper towel lined plate. Let that oil drain off.